Malawian, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, South Africa, foreigners zikhona kodwa manje siyahlupheka sizobaleka laphi nasi tibantu kuphela thina
ya yona inkinga leyo manje ngoba phela abantu ukuyibona ngempela kuyi main reason ukuthi kuze kube ukuthi buka nje ama Nigeria
yebo yes
and ngineshow ukuthi akhona la
Nigeria la awukho yonke empiyona lapha Malawian
Malawi only
Nigeria ndatezela inkinga lapha Malawi akayenzi lutho tiyathanda kusebenza tiyathanda kudesa zintu angeke tiyeze lutho kodwa inkinga tibuyisa lana in Nigeria yadesa ama drugs la South Africa ngati vakachela kuti in Nigeria hambani was better ngatinika inyanga phela 3 maybe 4 tihambe kahle not ngati namhlanje kuchela kuti hambani awukho right South African kusasa thina tiyakhala namhlanje kusasa South African izophendwa izokhala kanjani
bathi 30 June
azodishaya akatifuni la tiyacela awukho light tiyacela nasindibantu phela not inyama
kapela uma 3 months notice
maybe 3 months 4 months umuntu uhamba kahle uthathe simphethe zakho ugudu not one 30 June yaphela ukuthi izoshaya bayashaya bayambulala abantu baningi bashonile ndebhenu another people is tired
ngizothiwe friend uthi bebekushaya bathi
phuma endlini bakuphumisa phansi bakuphuma ukuthi abatiphuma endlini bayaphumisa umlomo kuphela bayashaya bayalwa
ufuna abantu
bayafa abantu baningi Malawian ishonile manje indaba lo bathatha khona awukho right tonke tibantu not inyama bantu
manje siswami kusunesikhathi singakanani uhlela
mina ngisale 3 years now
3 years
2022 nda passport ndiyasebenza overboard
family noma
ndiyasebenza ama kitchen yes
domestic work
yes
ngoba manje bathe ama South Africans nayo bathathela
umsebenzi uphi amalaba yazama ezamagwinya filoko lokubaphuma ezamagwinya lapha is better tshela bahambe ukuthi ama foreigners hamba tiyacela ukuthi ngathi bakatshela inyanga maybe 3 4 ndithi yacela.
How is the situation at home back in Malawi? You came from Malawi, right?
Yeah, that time it was better, but I don't know now because it's almost a year and some years and some months. So I can't explain about my home, how the situation is.
But you feel like South Africa is better when it comes to job opportunities?
Yeah.
So how do you feel now? Did you decide to go home or?
Yes, I have decided to go home because I don't have a place to stay.
Okay.
So I can't sleep in the bushes.
Okay. In case.
Are they arranging the transport for you?
Huh?
Are they arranging the transport for you?
Yeah, they are arranging the transport. That is why we are here.
Yeah. In case you see an opportunity maybe in 5 years to come back in South Africa, would you come to South Africa or would you prefer another country?
No, that question maybe I can't answer today because I can see the situation on that side. Looking there are ladies. Yeah, they don't want the foreigners.
Which job they are talking about?
Huh?
Which jobs they are talking about?
I don't know.
Were you working?
No, I do own my business. I'm a builder, yes.
Builder.
Yeah. So sometimes the Indians, even the Zulu people, they call us. Can you this? Can you this? Can you this? I'm not working anywhere or any company or somebody. But they don't mind about that. They eat everything. In the name that they are taking that.
So what kind of documentation do you have?
I don't have any document, but I got a passport.
How long you are here?
I've been here for it's almost 1 year and 8 months.
2024. But the Zulus are fighting.
Yes, they are fighting. That is why I said this. They are not here for enjoyment. They are here for...
Yeah. Did they come to your house and told you go back?
Yeah.
home?
Yes.
Where were you staying?
Did they ask you for your documents? Did they ask?
No, they just, you see, shouting, "I must go, you are taking our jobs, what. We don't want you here. If you don't document, we don't want you here." You see, sometimes the other people, they are talking like that. If you don't have a paper, you must go. If you got a paper, it's us who gave you the papers, so it's ours. You must go, we don't want you. They are talking like that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ima-ke bafu manje ngizomunye ethekuseni lana amaZulu avele yangingenela la ngiqashe khona athi hambani.
Hayi ngamboni noma iphale yadlula ngayibona khona ngaye kawuthi la amaZulu abangena bathi banani
Cha ngisho la ngiqashe khona emalokishini.
yebo sebenodu baweza kanje hamba
Ya uthi kade ehlala ePrintwood.
baweza kanje noma ni imevi baweza kanje muzohamba nini muzoguduka nini uthi hayi nike transport ngizoguduka uze no but uzonyama ushawo television
bantu bakushawa umhlanga etinizawanye manje bakhala ngokuthi futhi ngithatha izintombi zabo
thathe intombi zawo
Unentombi engaka?
hayi mina ngina serious
Lenga.
hayi
Anayingane.
hayi ngina
So wena bosakuthanda kwaseSouth Africa?
right hayi abanthanda kodwa ngidashala nawo kahle ayikho wrong mina ngidashala nawo baphila nami
Kodwa-ke impimake bafu make njengoba ugoduka ngale ngicabanga ukuthi uzofika uwenza amaphepha ngithi.
ya ngizowawenza
Bese uyaphinde uyabuya.
yebo ayikho inkinga maye kuyavumelana ukusekela uzobona bona mama government yethu ukuthi izawenzayo mase kulungile
Sahambela ukuthi uphinde ubuye.
Sabanga ukuthi hayi maybe ngingaphinda maybe ngishango 5 years maybe ngingaphinde ubuya lana ngizohlala emakhaya kahle kahle
Bala nomthatheki lapho.
nginayifazi semakhaya
Angicela umfazi.
Ngisho la eShewood Hall.
ikhona le kuduka thina sekithile ikhona sekhaya
Suke Malawi.
yes
AmaZulu anishaya.
hayi wayenza kanjani ukuthi uma ushaya ku-30 June hayi sizokhala
bathi kusho bani
abantu sebalana bathi tuhambe
Bathi ngithatha imisebenzi yabo ney'ntombi.
ya uthathele imisebenzi wawo ney'ntombi asahambe ayisho manje bathi tuhambe kodwa tuvumile ayikho nkinga
Wena ufike nini South Africa?
ngifike ngo-2022
Bowenza umsebenzi.
hayi mina ngiveza yonke into ngeplamba ngiphila ngapenta boy yonke into
But now amaphepha right.
kodwa kade ngiyalungisela amaphepha ma bathi baphelile angewayeka
umephelele amaphepha uyayeka
Ekunzima kulukhuni. Lapha kuphakele iy'ngane amaparish. Iy'ngane ezelizolo lapha ziphakela amaparish. Sekuphele 4 days ayigezi kanye nezinkwa. Isimo sibi ngempela bafethu. Amamalawian lawa laphana eShewood ehall lapha ngasepark ahleli khona nje ibandla leli lamasulumane labaphakela libalethela nezinkwa nokuphuza kanye namanzi. Khona ngisho iy'ngane ey'ncane ezelizolo usana hayi bafethu kushubile kodwa uhulumeni wakhona bathembe uzobalethela kushubile bafethu kushubile namanje.
hayi bafowethu bona bafowethu baseMalawi laba badlule laba bambulayini bayona
Bafethu silapha eShewood ePaki la ekugcinwe khona abantu bokufika baseMalawi. Bahleli nje khona lapha balinde into ezobahambisa eMalawi. Njoba la abahlala khona emqashweni la bahlala kuyona bashaya ade beshawa bexoshwa bephuca nempahla ezinye zazo. So njengamanje balindele i-transport ezobathatha bayise eMalawi. Sithola kukhona amasulumane la abanikeza ukudla kade kufanele ne-truck yamanzi so baqale babhala ama-list bayahamba futhi bayahamba.
Ngiqeda kubuka ividiyo ya enhle and she's talking about how these people want South Africans to be perfect in their approach when taking back their things that were actually stolen from them. And I'm so glad that she brought that up, because kunabantu on this app who think illegal immigrants are these innocent people that are just blameless, and South Africans are the worst. And it's actually crazy that I understand people from outside South Africa, but South Africans falling for the same propaganda is absolutely crazy. I cannot believe that you can be so out of touch with the reality of your own people, that you sympathize more with the people that are coming from outside to make things worse for the people that are inside. Like, that is so crazy. People in South Africa, some of them are not able to write matric. Umuntu afunde azayofika matric athi mase kumele enze ID ngalowo nyaka, they find out that, oh no, they already have an ID. And then they end up not writing matric. That's a child. That's a child whose whole life just got derailed because of an illegal immigrant who came here and colluded with other criminals in this country, and then benza ubuqhoshosho babo bokuthengisana ama-ID. So when people say that illegal immigrants turn crime into a much bigger beast in this country, bakhuluma ngaleyo nto because if illegal immigrants were not in this country, then the person who's committing the crime of selling lezinto kwi-Home Affairs, I'm not saying he's right, I'm saying they both wrong, and together they make things worse in South Africa. So for you to just try to Twitterize, because that's another thing that annoys me. It's the people from Twitter who are so used to just discussing concepts and thoughts that they truly do not know how to think anymore. They can only observe, they can only make observations and then regurgitate them. They piggyback on everybody else's opinions, and then they come and they think they've made an informed opinion, and they come here on TikTok and they talk about the problems of the poor as if it's some sort of thesis that they have to write just to pass the grade. You people are so obsessed with being politically correct that you're literally slightly selling yourself. Like with TikTok, you know how Kutwama artists have to sell their soul for what they have. You guys are selling your soul just to look intelligent and just to look neutral. And yeah, pseudo intellectualism is legit killing you, because you're so out of touch with the problems of the people of this country. Like, your kid or your cousin or your baby sister might be going to a Curro or a government school in your nice posh area, but if you go to the areas like Mlazi or your Alex or your whatever areas that are severely disenfranchised, you can see children sitting at home not having schools. Even if it's one child, it's more than one, but even if South Africa says there's one child sitting at home not being able to go to school because of this illegal immigrant issue, then we should stand up and try to fix it, and not try to intellectualize it and say every child deserves an education according to they broke the law to enter this country. They broke the law. Like, you are listening to people who are here illegally tell you that you need to sit down, keep your mouth shut, and allow the law, the same law that allowed them to enter illegally, allow the law to take its course. When have they ever cared for the law? They are buying spaces in school. That's also illegal, by the way. That's also illegal. They are buying these spaces when kids are supposed to enroll, then register in schools the regular way that we used to. Now the principal is being handed 2K, 3K at the back door so that a South African child doesn't get accepted in the school, and a child from Zim or Nigeria or Somali can get that space in school, when immigrants are not supposed to be getting enrolled in public schools. That's what private schools are for, right? And they are walking around saying that they are educated and hardworking and they are contributing to the South African economy. Then let them take that money and take it to Kuro and send their kids to Kuro. Let them take that money. And then they must allow the schools that are for those people in those areas, those South African people in those areas, leave that. Because when you guys are hardworking, you guys are carrying the South African economy on your backs. Take your kids out of those public schools where they're not supposed to be. It's the same thing as when South Africans want their land back and you get white people saying, oh, South Africans, they want to break the law. They want everything for free. As if they took the land for $1 million. You took the land for free. Actually, you killed for it. So, of course, we want it for free. We don't want to buy it back from you. You stole it. You killed our people so you could take it. You broke every single law. And then after that, you created laws that would prevent us from doing to you what you did to us. And then you say, what about Ubuntu? That's another concept we need to discuss, by the way, because Ubuntu, can I just talk about this for a second? Ubuntu, the reason why white people cannot get it, and they never will, by the way, and even some immigrants, they never will get it. They think you're being stupid for having Ubuntu, by the way, but they'll keep trying to enforce it to you because they think you're stupid for having Ubuntu. Ubuntu is something that is innate. It's not something you can nurture or teach. It's a factory setting. It's a factory setting. So, for example, when a person is like KwaZulu, when a person is acting non-human, we will often say, "Wenza ubunja." You know, you're basically behaving njengezinja, because how do dogs live? They eat. It's like a dog eat dog world. They are always out for each other. That's how they survive. But that's not how we as people, as Abantu, are supposed to live. So when you're expecting Ubuntu from people that are not Abantu, from literally, because Abantu are a group, right, of people, Bantu people. So it's like expecting a dog to act like a cat. When you want someone who is not a Bantu person to have Ubuntu, it's like saying to a cat, why unganabo ubunja? It's like saying to a cat, why unganabo ubunja? And saying to a dog, you should, if you want to teach umlungu or someone who's not umuntu, the concept of Ubuntu, it's like you're trying to teach a dog how to be a cat. It's never gonna work, because then the only people that can have Ubuntu are Abantu. And there's a specific group of people in this country that are Abantu. That's why there will always be this thing of, why do we have it in our minds? Why do these people act like this? Like, what? It's because our thing is a factory setting. It can never be taught. They are just using it as a word. They don't understand it. Like, even today, white people are still having these seminars talking about, writing books about a simple concept, treating human beings like human beings. But they don't get it because it's not in them. Anyway, that's not what this video was about. I just took a sharp left for a second. This video was about not allowing criminals to make you feel guilty for wanting back what they stole from you. That's absolutely crazy. They stole your security. They stole the jobs that you have. Even if people say it's crumbs, it's fine. It's your crumbs. And let's just said it. These are our crumbs. We must decide what we want to do with our crumbs. If I want to save my crumbs for my kids, or if I want to save them and make crumbed chicken, that's what I'm going to do with my crumbs. They're mine. These people stole your land. They stole, and okay, let me not start a whole other thing at the end of this video. Do not make these people who are criminals make you feel bad because umuntu for having ubuntu. Do not make them pull your strings like that. It's too late. It's too late for ubuntu. They had a long run to actually appreciate ubuntu. Manje sebuvaliwe ke manje akusetshenzwe. It's over.
Guys, continue to fight and defend your country. Do not hold back. Countries around the world are doing it, and they are not xenophobic. They are fighting for the country they love so much. They are fighting for the country they care so much. As we speak, Belfast is burning. Belfast is on fire, it's burning. They are fighting and burning everything that belongs to foreigners. They don't want them anymore, and they are not xenophobic. They are tired. They are tired. They are not doing this for themselves only, but they are thinking about the future. Foreigners have a second home. If anything goes bad to this country, they can always go back to Mozambique, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Ghana, Burkina Faso, Congo. They have a second home. What do we have, Tin? Then you have people who are telling us, hey, we are being xenophobic. No. Skatele, abahambe. We are doing this for our children. We are doing this for the future. Yabantwana bethu. Continue to fight and defend your country that you love so much. Do not hold back. Countries all over the world are doing it. They are sick and tired of these politicians who do not care. These frauds and thieves and thugs who do not care about people. Who turn the country like into a circus where everyone comes and do as they please. Continue to fight and defend your country with pride and dignity. You are not xenophobic. You are fighting for what's right. Abahambe.
I see some of you are still insisting on intellectualizing the problems or challenges experienced by the poor. If you dive into history, you will realize that a lot of the freedoms that we enjoy in the present day are as a result of the sacrifices of the poor. Asking questions like, oh, who funds this and who funds that? Those are very valid questions, right? But why do you guys continuously infantilize poor people and act as though they're not human like you? And you guys think that they lack the ability to be able to take agency over their lives. The French Revolution, the revolution in Russia, labor rights in South Korea. You guys honestly think that because you're educated, you're the ones that have the right to tell the poor what they need. They know what they need and they understand what causes to fight for. And that's exactly what they're doing. People that have absolutely nothing to lose because their daily lives are literally a struggle, continue undermining them until your roof is burning. Then you will understand why we keep telling you guys to stop silencing the voices of the poor and the masses and making them look like they're crazy and labeling them all sorts of things. Again, I don't condone any violence. There's literally a protest in South Africa every other day, and when you watch the news and listen to what these people are saying, they've literally clearly been articulating what their issues are. And illegal immigration is not the only issue. They are literally A to Z spelling out how the government has failed them in many respects. And a lot of them, you guys are even shocked at how well some of them actually understand systems and processes. But because they didn't go to school or they don't possess certain accents or they come from a certain class, you think that their complaints are not even worth... Guys, honestly, stop it. When people rise up and want change, change will happen whether you like it or not. You will remember the words of those that told you to listen to the challenges and the complaints of the poor and the masses.
Me people, I've been watching the propaganda being pushed across Africa to separate South Africa from the rest of the continent. And honestly, I don't understand why more people are not speaking about this, right? As a foreigner who has lived in South Africa for 17 years, I believe that I'm qualified to speak on this issue, right? And I suspect that many foreigners will also agree with me on this one. Yes, things are tense today, right? Yes, there are serious problems here, but it was not always like this, right? Let me tell you a story. Growing up in Zimbabwe, you know, many of our mothers were cross-border traders. They traveled here to South Africa to buy and sell goods, right? Before many of us ever set our foot here, right? If you're Zimbabwean, you know exactly what I'm talking about here, right? Our mothers came back home with stories of kindness here. They came back with clothes, man, sometimes with food. Some South Africans even offered money, you know, simply wanting to help, all right? That is why when the Zimbabwe's economy collapsed in 2008. Many people chose South Africa, right? We had grown up hearing about the hospitality of its people, right? And when we arrived here, South Africans didn't disappoint me, people. We lived together here. We worked together. We built together. Just before the World Cup, I still remember, we were one people. But then something began to change, right? Life became harder here. The economy slowed down. The jobs also started to become scarce around here. At the same time, more and more people kept coming, right? Arriving from across the continent. South Africans, they started raising concerns about this. They were asking whether the country could sustain the pressure, whether there was an imbalance, developing, between economic opportunity and the number of people that are depending on it, right? Which is normal. Whether one agreed with those concerns or not, they were being raised, right? And what happened? Silence. The political class ignored the conversation. They waited for the pressure to just die down. Then it came back again. They were ignored again and again, year after year. This is what was happening. Meanwhile, unemployment, it continued to rise. The economy also stopped growing. Everyone knows this. Then, frustration, it continued to rise. That's what you would expect, right? Now we have reached a point where the issue can no longer be ignored. What we've been sweeping under the carpet for years now, we can't ignore it anymore now. The carpet has become lumpy. It's causing people to fall, right? So we are now forced to confront what should have been addressed a long time ago. And the truth is, it's not good, my people. It's not looking good. This is why I get frustrated when I see Africans looking at South Africa and reducing everything happening here just as, South Africans are xenophobic, and that's it. That's not analysis, my people. That's intellectual laziness. Africa will not be built by slogans, my people, not by emotions. We are too emotional right now, and that needs to end. Africa will be built by our willingness to confront difficult conversations. And as a Pan-African, I believe that this situation requires all of us, my people. What is happening in South Africa is not merely a South African crisis. And I keep talking about this. It is a regional crisis, right? And when you consider migration pressures, there is unemployment, government failures, economic instability, the conflicts that are going on across the continent, you quickly see that it's a continental issue now. So you cannot solve continental issues with national conversations alone. That's what we're talking about here. South Africa needs Africa to listen, not to attack them, not to label them, not to dismiss them, just to listen, right? Because Pan-Africanism itself is not the refusal to discuss problems, my people. It is the courage to discuss them, but honestly, for a change, right? When South Africans say we hear your message about one Africa, but we can't fit the entire continent in South Africa here, that concern deserves engagement, my people, not just attack. Real unity requires honesty and difficult conversations. It requires understanding the forces that are shaping our reality and working together to find solutions to solve them, right? If we cannot do that, then we should as well just stop pretending that we are serious about unity around here, right? And lastly, I want Africans also to understand something important here. Sometimes 2 or 3 things can be true at the same time, right? It can be true that migration issues or migration pressures are real around here, right? It can also be true that citizens have legitimate concerns here. It can also be true that violence against innocent people is not right, and must be condemned. These truths, they don't cancel each other out, my people. Mature thinking allows us to hold multiple truths at the same time. And as Pan-Africanists, we need South Africa in the Africa that we are trying to build here. There is no one Africa without South Africa, right? That is why I urge you, my brothers and sisters across the continent, to try and understand South Africans just a little bit more than the headlines want you to. Because if Africa becomes divided within itself, my people, then those people who never wanted African unity in the first place, they win, right? We can't allow that. Think about it.
Hello Mzansi, welcome to Mgozo waseMzansi. Inqumbi yabantu baseMalawi balaphesheya wood ahleli khona njengoba baqoshiwe emaflethini nasendaweni la bahlala khona ngenxa yokuthi kuthiwa bahambe babele emaveni abo njengoba sibabona lana babhacile kokuthi they are scared for their lives babaphakela ngisho ukudla lana babalathela ama-parish kokuthi batokhona kudla and they are saying ukuthi bona nabo babantu, they don't understand why South Africans are chasing them away. And some people are asking them ukuthi guys into enzima kanti ukuthi nihambeni emakhaya, why don't you guys go back eMalawi, because nisuke eMalawi phela ngoba nibona simo sibhetha nala South Africa simo sesiyabhetha manje. Hambani nibuyele emakhaya, niyakwata emakini niyade la nisuka khona, hambani nibuyele khona. Guys, look at these people babuye ukuthi baningi kangakanani. Yo guys, ngiyadibuda nje ukuthi waba ngathi ama-foreigners onke from Nigeria, Ghana, Malawi, Zimbabwe bathi abahlangane ndzawonye ukuthi bangabangakanani if laba baseMalawi kuphela nakhona bakaphelile. Do comment your thoughts down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. I'll see you on the next one. I'm signing out. So goodbye.